So you're going to support this family. Somebody's going to sign a hockey puck and a ball, and that's how we're going to...
You know, back then, that does sound fucking nuts.
It was foreign.
What you do is something very unique. You've sold dirt from the Yankee Stadium. I mean, you sell stuff as sports memorabilia that most people can't even wrap their brain around. How did this happen? How did you get started?
Well, you know, the real thing starts when I was really a kid, because I think everything starts around value proposition, and everything does start with a purpose. When I think about the Steiner Collectibles, which is really the first empire I built, when you get really down to it, I never saw that coming. I was on the train. I'm in Scarsdale, and taking the train every day. Underneath the word misery in the dictionary would be me on a train. I mean, just so unhappy. And I'm like, I gotta go off this train. People are eating, they're talking on the phone, this guy's got his shoes off, and you're crammed in. And half the time I would miss the train, or my wife like, you know, that train doesn't wait for you. You gotta get there a couple minutes early. And I just wanted to buy a car. So it was 1994, and I had started Steiner Sports Marketing in '87. We were marketing athletes and booking athletes, and I still do that to this day, but I knew I needed to do more.
And when you say you're marketing athletes and booking athletes, what are you marketing or booking them for?
Appearances, like events? Trade shows, commercials, speaking engagements. I mean, especially in the late '80s, no one was really doing that. And I had a Rolodex. There was no online, no cell phones. To be able to get a hold of athletes, I had thousands of athletes' phone numbers. You would see me traditionally outside of a locker room or out in the parking lot waiting for guys to come out, but you had to get their phone numbers. Then you had to try to create work. Nobody was really using these athletes much. The whole athlete marketing craze happened more later in the '90s. So if I found like a Magic Johnson $5,000 in the late '80s, that was a lot of money.
Gotcha.
And but in order to get a hold of Magic, you had to get his home phone number. Because even the agents weren't really worrying about that stuff back then.
Right.
So I'm grinding around, running around all over the country, taking players everywhere, from Roger Staubach to Johnny Unitas, you name them. And, you know, things are not going particularly great. And I'm on this train. My mother had just passed away. And by the way, my mother's favorite line, you got to have balls. This book's dedicated to her and all the things she taught me, by the way. And I made a shitload of money listening to my mom. If you get anything out of this conversation, like listen to your mom, they never steer you wrong. And a lot of times if you do a good job of that, you can make a lot of money. I'm on the train. I just want to get off and buy a car. I've never had a new car. And I look down and I see this gentleman who's got the Daily News, and he's got Mark Messier, hockey player for the New York Rangers. And the Rangers just won the Cup. They hadn't won in 54 years. And people are going crazy. I'm a little down, but I'm looking at that. I'm like, I bet I could sell like 15,000 of those if I can get Mark Messier to sign them. I don't know how I'm going to get that. I don't know, Mark. And that's how my brain's working. I'm thinking I'm going to duplicate the back page of the Daily News and sell 15,000. And Mark writes, we did it. It was 54 years of waiting, or we did it. He's going to sign those two.
But at this point, you don't know Mark.
No, Mark. And I don't have a collectible company. I'm just booking and marketing athletes. I chase Mark down, like, you know, when in college when you have a crush on that girl, right, and you're trying to find anywhere she might be. Brother, lawyer, sister, accountant.
Where they eat lunch. Yeah.
3 months later, I signed Mark Messier, my first collectible deal.
And by the way, this isn't like the modern days where you can look at their Instagram and say, hey, they're eating at you know, Double Eagle restaurant or somewhere. Like, you're having to stock them.
And Mark was not a money grabber. You know, there was a small dining room table. He wasn't a guy, if you had a few bucks, he was just going to do it. He was very particular about what he did. I had to do a lot of convincing. It wasn't like I had any kind of platform to show him. Yeah. Other than a good rap, a good story, convicted about him signing that damn photo. And sure enough, 6 months later, he signed a shitload of photos. I got off the goddamn train and bought a Lexus SC400. And, you know, people say, how'd you start Steiner Collectibles? I'm like, honestly, I just wanted to get off the goddamn train. And it was a money grab. It wasn't for the betterment of mankind. It wasn't like I wanted to do this or that. Now, I built Steiner up because I love bringing people closer to the game and all these crazy things I've created. But to get it started, the purpose?
Money grab.
Get off the train, man. Money grab. Yeah.
Sometimes pain is a great motivator to create an outcome, isn't it? And the pain of being on that train and having to rush to it.
It was a great, you know, I think if you're an entrepreneur, true in spirit, and you're really in that mindset, there's a lot of pain and a lot of dark places you have to go, because where you have to go to find that solution, or that where you're trying to serve people with a solution that you see the gap but no one else sees it, obviously, is painful. It's lonely. And when you come out with it, nobody's agreeing with you. It's not like everybody's going, oh, that's brilliant. And like, that's stupid. I don't see that. How's that going to work? Then if you have a wife like mine, who then will give you 20 reasons why it's not going to work immediately. My accountability police, I call her. So immediately, you know, now listen, the best decision I ever made, marrying my wife. Probably the last decision I ever made, but the best decision I ever made. But, you know, I mean, so, but that's the accountability of the entrepreneur. Because my wife's a CPA, by the book, you know, so like, I mean, you know, you're trying to fight through that. Like, so you're going to support this family. Somebody's going to sign a hockey puck and a ball, and that's how we're going to.
You know, back then that does sound fucking
it was
nuts.
Foreign.
You realize that?
But
That
I
sounds
knew,
nuts.
being such a fan, all I really wanted is, imagine if I get Mickey Mantle on a baseball. It would be like, imagine if I get that base on that field, or if I can go get that jersey the player's wearing.
So that's what you're thinking when you go to a ball game? You're like, I want that base, or if I could just get that ball and have him sign it?
Yeah.
And everyone else is just thinking, I want to watch the game and get the entertainment
And
out
I'm
of it.
thinking, would I really like to meet that guy? If God came down and said, whatever you want. Nah, I don't really want to meet him. That's how I decide if I actually want to go sign a player. But I'm thinking like the dirt. Mickey Mantle's been on that dirt. I see people go on the field, Joe DiMaggio, Babe Ruth. I'm like, people grab a handful of dirt. I'm like, I think I could sell that. Now, I'd love to tell you about how genius it was, but I was desperate. The economy went for the shitter. It was in the tank. I had bought Yankee Stadium for $18.5 million. Do not advise that if you're at home to do that. Not smart. But I knew I had to go give that stadium the respect.
Yeah.
And the Yankees gave me the opportunity to partner with them. So things got tight. You know, the economy was terrible. I need to come up with a low cost, high margin. By the way, margin on the dirt's phenomenal.
I can only imagine.
Just great margins on dirt, if you really want to get to it. So I'm thinking like, you know, what do I do here, you know?
You're killing me.
So, you know, you got the dirt and you know, 200 SKUs later. So you say to me, Brandon, how do you get to 50 million of dirt?
Yeah, wait. I got to get granular here.
All right,
Pun intended with the dirt.
The dirt is...
You're getting this, okay, how much dirt are you selling? 200 SKUs. So how much dirt are you putting in a vial, and what is it selling for, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, right, the initial products are, you know, dirt coasters, dirt pens, dirt keychains. I'm spraying adhesive on a photo, putting dirt on there. The little capsules with a photo. And remember, I've got dirt now from every stadium. And the viscosity and the color of every dirt, which is very key, is different. Not all dirt is created equal. I'm just saying.
You sure know a lot.
So I'm thinking, I'm selling thousands of these units, but at $29, $39, a little tough. And I say to people all the time in entrepreneurship, your first idea is not your best idea. You got to keep grinding. You got to keep going after it. Don't settle for some success. If you want to be extraordinary and significant, you got to keep going. So my mind's going. I know I got something, but I'm really not sure where it's going to go. And selling $29 pens and keychains is not what I was hoping for my future. However, gratitude is so important. I'm writing Brian Cashman a thank you note. And I say to my graphic person, make me a nice poster with all the pictures of all the ballparks. I'll be a nice gift for Brian. Great general manager, so good to me. I want to thank him with something really nice. We'll frame it nice. Then I say, you know something, we got dirt from all the teams. Put a capsule of dirt on this poster. It looks beautiful. And I noticed that, you know, the viscosity, the color is all different, you know, the density, everything. So I write the note, Brian, thanks for everything. Now you have a little dirt on every team in your office. Bam! Booyah!
Done.
$500.
Get out of here.
Now I'm selling dirt maps for $4.99. And I'm making a dirt map for San Diego Padres, for Kansas City Royals, for the Yankees. Well, the Yankees are always the top selling dirt. You know, Yankee dirt is special.
Special dirt.
It's different than everything else. Now I'm thinking for $500, that's all of a sudden. And instead of selling you a pen,
and where are you
selling
marketing
32
these?
Pens. Where am I not marketing it? That's the point.
Well, I mean, you don't have the internet at that point.
I look at every store, I look at every catalog with a question. Why aren't you carrying my product?
Brilliant.
Until somebody proves me that it's not. But the problem is most people, when they're thinking about it, they're like, they're never going to want my product. No, I'm thinking like, you need my product. And let me prove to you why until you prove to me why not.
Where did this level of balls come from? That you're saying, why does your catalog, your store not have my product, while everyone else nowadays is thinking, they don't want my product. Where does this level of balls come from?
My mother's like, do not say no for an answer. People are confused and they're stupid. And you got to convince them sometimes that they got to take more time to realize what you're doing. I go to Neiman Marcus. I say, you know, I want to put a couple SKUs in your Christmas catalog of collectibles. Like, you know, we really don't want to do that. I say, you know something, you're right. I want to do my own catalog with you. Let's do a Neiman Marcus Steiner catalog. So the guy says, absolutely not. No way, I don't want to do that. Brendan Hoffman, love him, great guy. I go back to Dallas the second time. He says, you know, maybe I could put a couple SKUs in. I said, you know, I really don't want to put a couple SKUs. I want to do my own catalog. He goes, let's try a couple SKUs. And I always say, dream big, sample small, and fail quick. Now, I said, okay, want to sample? Let's sample. The 2 SKUs I gave him. And that's the thing. When you get a window of opportunity, hit them with your best stuff. Not your high margin, not hit them with your best stuff.
Was it the dirt map? Was that one of them?
No, it was just 2 good items that I knew would do well. And the margins were decent, but it was a good play for them.
Yeah.
Promotions are for people, not for profit. I knew that. I looked at it as a promotion, as a sale. So I gave him something that was going to be good for him and his customers, not so great for me. A year later, Neiman Steiner catalog, our own catalog that we sent to all their customers, and that's the brand play you want. Like, who knows Steiner? But Steiner Neiman Marcus was an upscale, beautiful.
Huge. You just align yourself with an upscale, beautiful brand.
It's the only way to go. Why would you partner with anything? I mean, you're going to start throwing the P word around, partner. It needs to be somebody who's going to increase the size of the roof over your head. Never partner with anyone that is going to increase and broaden your horizons.
Holy smokes.
No way. And that's what I love about my wife. American Express I was partnered with for years. I mean, you know, NBA, Derek Jeter, Yankees. It's not by mistake.